Obesity is the second leading cause of preventable death in America after smoking. It's been a growing problem worldwide, especially in the past 50 years. In fact, worldwide obesity has nearly tripled since 1975. Most people know, and the CDC confirms, that eating and physical activity patterns, insufficient sleep and several other factors influence excess weight gain. But a recent report on 60 Minutes featuring Dr. Stanford, a doctor specializing in obesity medicine at Mass General Health in Boston, said something completely different.
If you diet, you lose weight, right?
The number one cause of obesity is genetics.
How can that be? There are indeed some cases of obesity that are a direct result of rare diseases or hormonal dysfunction, but obesity is primarily driven by lifestyle. Who your parents are don't determine what your weight, BMI, or level of fitness will be. And there is a big mental and mindset component to reversing the habits and emotionally driven behaviors we've grown accustomed to. But she is saying that obesity is based on your parents, not your patterns of behavior.
That means if you are born to parents that have obesity, you have a 50 to 85% likelihood of having the disease yourself.
The CDC itself, along with tons of other data, confirms that genetic changes in human populations occur too slowly to be responsible for the obesity epidemic. How is it that for hundreds of thousands of years, this genetic disease that she claims exists lay dormant until 50 years ago? There is an obvious difference in the food intake of 50 years ago and the food intake of today.
Even with optimal diet, exercise, sleep management, stress management.
Why would she say that an optimal diet, exercise, sleep, and lifestyle behaviors are unable to prevent or reverse obesity, when millions of people do it every day, regardless of what their parents' weight status might be? In fact, their parents have the ability to lose weight as well. Well, it just so happens that this report was on a new medication that helps with weight loss but is wildly expensive and covered by very few insurance companies. It also just so happens that the drug company that makes this medication was the primary advertiser on that broadcast. If obesity can be classified as an unpreventable, uncontrollable, and irreversible disease, then these profitable medications can be approved for treatment under insurance coverage.
Don't you think if they could lose weight and keep it off, they would? What the medication does.
It's part of a new generation of medications that brings about an impressive average loss of 15 to 22% of a person's weight, and it helps keep it off.
It's also worth noting that Dr. Cody, who says obesity is not a result of diet and exercise, is now a member of the Biden USDA's 2025 Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee, which will help determine dietary standards for Americans over the coming years. The same institutions and policies that have stood by while obesity tripled over the past 50 years are now even less concerned with diet and nutrition and prefer to rely on prescriptions. The look on the interviewer's face said it all. Our health is something we have the ability to take control over for free, without pharmaceutical intervention in almost all cases. It does require a big shift in mindset and a change in the way we see our food and ourselves. But our bodies are no different than they were before the introduction of ultra-processed food, big drug company influence, and big food company consolidation. We do have control over our own personal health and well-being, through our meals and food choices, our movement and exercise habits, and through our mindset and ability to unlearn the bad habits we have.